All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever, just looked at the world and thought, I could make this better, or just different? Well, you're in the right place, because today we're cracking open the toolbox for the creators of tomorrow. And yeah, I'm talking about you.
So, let's kick things off with a pretty huge question. What if? What if you weren't just along for the ride? Just watching the future happen. What if you were actually in the driver's seat, holding the blueprints with all the tools you need to build it yourself?
Well, here's the thing. You can. That's not some far-off dream. The tools, they're not locked up in some secret lab somewhere. Nope, they're all around us right now, just waiting for that spark. Your imagination. So you ready? Let's grab our first tool. Okay, first up in our toolkit is a big one, artificial intelligence, or AI. And look, I know that name can sound a little intimidating, right? But don't worry about that. Think of it less like some super complex machine and more like a co-pilot for your imagination, a creative sidekick.
So what is AI really? It's pretty simple when you break it down. It's when computers learn from examples. Kind of like how you learn to ride a bike, through practice. But here's the mind-blowing part. Imagine practicing something, not once, not twice, but 1,000,000 times, in 1 second. That's the magic behind AI. That's how it gets so good, so fast.
And just think about what you could do with that. Seriously, maybe you're a writer. You could teach an AI to brainstorm wild new adventures with you. Or an artist. You could have it generate color palettes you've never even dreamed of. Or, hey, maybe you're a scientist, and you could use it to find hidden patterns in the stars. See, it's not just for tech people. It's a tool for absolutely everyone.
All right, let's move on. Our next couple of tools are all about making the world around us, well, smarter. They help us understand it and even interact with it in totally new ways. We're talking about data and the Internet of Things.
I know. The word data can sound a bit boring and technical, but it's not. It's really just information. It's literally everywhere. It's in the beat of your favorite song, all the colors in a photo you just took. It's even in every single heartbeat. Think of it like this. It's the language the world is speaking. And learning that language, that's a superpower.
And this is exactly where that superpower kicks in. When you understand data, you can see things other people miss. A scientist can figure out exactly how to make plants grow faster. A business owner can see what their customers really want. An artist, they can take that raw info and turn it into something absolutely beautiful.
Okay, now let's take that idea and kick it up a notch. What happens when you take all that data and connect it to, well, everyday stuff? You get the Internet of Things, or IoT. This is where we give ordinary objects, like your lights, your shoes, even a plant pot, a tiny digital brain. Suddenly, they can talk to each other, react to things, and become, smart.
And this is where your imagination can just go wild. Seriously, think about it. What if you designed a backpack that starts glowing when you forget your homework? Or what about a plant pot that actually sings a little song when it needs water? The possibilities are endless. What kind of smart invention would you create? So, we've talked about making our physical world smarter. But what if we could build entirely new worlds from scratch? Or what if we could just add a layer of digital magic on top of the one we're in right now? Well, that's where our next tools come in, augmented and virtual reality.
Now, AR and VR, they sound kind of similar, right? But they do totally different things. Augmented reality, that's AR, it adds stuff to the world you're already in. It's like digital magic layered on top of reality. Think of those games where you see characters running around in your own living room. But virtual reality, VR, that's different. It's total immersion. You put on a headset and boom, you're in a completely new digital world.
And we're talking way, way beyond just video games here. Imagine a world where a doctor can practice a super difficult surgery over and over in a safe virtual space, or where an artist can literally paint with light in 3D air. We can even build an entire city in VR and let people walk through it before a single thing is built in the real world. How cool is that?
Okay, so we've got all these amazing, powerful tools, AI, IoT, VR. But you know what makes them truly world-changing? It's when we use them with the most powerful tool we have, each other. Collaboration. Because let's be real, building the future isn't a solo mission. It's a team sport.
And a perfect example of this in action is something called open source. Just picture it. Millions of people all over the world sharing the code, the designs, the blueprints for what they've built, for free. So you can take a look, learn from it, maybe add your own cool idea, and then share it back. It's this amazing cycle that helps everyone build bigger and better things, way faster.
But all that amazing collaboration, it needs one thing to work. One really important thing: trust. Especially online, right? How do you know what's real? How can we build systems where we can be sure our information is safe and, well, honest?
Well, one really powerful answer to that problem is a tool called blockchain. Again, it sounds super complicated, but the idea is actually pretty straightforward. Think of it like a digital record book that can't be erased. First, you create a record of something. Then you lock it into a secure chain with a bunch of other records. And here's the key: that chain is shared with everyone, so it's basically impossible to secretly change anything. Everyone would know. It's a way to prove something is real and authentic. And when you have that kind of guaranteed trust, you can build some incredible, much-needed systems. Think about it. Systems that keep your medical history totally private and safe. Or a system that makes sure an artist always gets credit and paid for their digital work. You could even have digital diplomas or certificates that are 100% impossible to fake. This trust, it's the foundation for a much safer and fairer digital world.
So, as we start to bring this all together, I want you to hold on to one core idea. The single most important thing to remember from all of this, and it's this: the future isn't some movie you just sit back and watch. No, it's something you get to build. It's a world you are actively creating piece by piece, idea by idea, every single day. You are the architect here.
Look, everything we've talked about today, AI, data, VR, blockchain, at the end of the day, they're just tools in a toolbox. Yeah, they're incredibly powerful, but they don't do anything on their own. They're waiting for the one thing that only you have, that spark, your imagination.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, to the most important question of all. We've looked at the tools, we've seen what's possible. Now the toolbox is yours. So, I'll leave you with this: what will you create?